couldn't wait to lift off and go. I couldn't stand to see her cry. I couldn't stand to be the reason why. And all the spaceships flying saucers, still can't believe that I really lost her. And all the spaceships flying saucers, still can't believe that I really lost her.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fine episode of That's Not Normal, It's Paranormal. Today we will be speaking a wonderful campfire story special edition, Folklore Tales. I'm Big T here at the lair like normal, and I got my buddy Dante here. What's up, Dante?
Oh, I'm getting the spirit ready, okay? I got pumpkin spice in the air.
Got pumpkin spice in the air. I was surprised you don't have some kind of a certain festive kind of alcoholic beverage that I know you like so much.
It is cooling in the fridge. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this festive season.
Me too, man. It's the best time of the year, in my opinion. Best holiday of the year coming up. I like it when things get spooky.
Right now I got the candle. I went shopping, got me some, pumpkin pie, some fall leaves. It's all kind. Hey, I am a hipster girl when it comes to candle waxes. I love them.
You know what? It's hilarious because my wife has been helping a friend of hers, and she gave me a fall scented candle. It actually might be pumpkin spice. So I guess I'm a basic white girl now, but I do like the smell of it. Don't like the taste of pumpkin spice, but I'm also a big fan of the other fall scents when it comes to candles.
I accidentally had a pumpkin pie blizzard tonight.
That sounds really weird.
It was not my fault. Okay. I thought it was a cinnamon bun roll blizzard. They both looked the same. One was a little darker. I should have realized, but it was melting. So I started to eat it. And here, I didn't realize till I got home, and Sarah's like, yeah, this is the cinnamon roll one. I was like, well, yeah, I just ate this whole majority of this pumpkin pie blizzard. So not my fault.
So, breaking news, actually sitting outside of the lair, and I was looking because something caught my attention. And where I live up on the steep mountains, I was looking towards the direction of the airport because I seen this light shining above the airport down here. And I seen this light, and I was like, well, it's probably just an airplane. And it was like hovering right above where the airport is.
Yeah.
Because, you can see some of the towers and stuff that they have nearby there blinking and stuff like always every night. But I seen this light, and I was just thinking it was an airplane, but I was kept looking at it, and I was like, well, it's not moving. And then as I was sitting here watching it, just almost looked like just like a star from this distance. You know what I mean? Just a little shining light. And it just vanished. As I was on this phone call, I just watched this light right above the airport here in town, and it just disappeared.
Well, this is karma for all the times that you said that black-eyed kids are going to make me disappear. They're coming for you first.
Well, I guess they could be aliens, but that was one of the niftiest things I've ever seen, because I've never seen anything really weird in the sky personally. I mean, maybe there's an explanation and stuff to it, but this thing was above the tree line, and it didn't move up, it didn't move down, it moved left or right. It was just a glowing light. It's not a tower, because I can see the other tower. There's a tower over there blinking. You can see the light blinking every couple seconds, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this light just vanished.
That's pretty cool, actually. I wish I never get to see cool shit like that in the sky. And I've been paying more attention since we've been doing this podcast, really, to make, Because I want a fucking experience, but I don't want to get abducted.
Yeah, I seen a meme the other day. Maybe the alien abduction is just the vacation that you need, you know?
I mean, if they don't probe you and drop you off and you're just like your pants are around your ankle in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah, well, that was the interesting thing and kind of got us off track here a little bit. And the main reason why I'm sitting outside of the lairs because somebody gave me some feedback and said that they could hear a little bit of background noise. So I was just trying to limit it a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sitting outside in the night makes it a little bit spookier as well. But yeah, well, that was an interesting way to start. But this episode, we are doing what is this? Be episode 2 campfire stories, if I'm correct.
It might be yeah, maybe. we kind of called when we just tell ghost stories campfires. So I think only one episode's actually called campfire, and then the rest we said it in the episode, but not, you know.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a campfire story. We're just kind of telling tales and folklore tales and stuff like that. You know, there's some things you might hear around campfire. No, like one single big topic. Well, we have bigger topics, but you know what I mean? That whole episode isn't about one thing.
I put the little candle wax over top of the campfire, and we can smell pumpkin spice out in the wild.
But before we get started on that, and I know it's a little bit of a delay here for everybody. I got confused with this light thing. Couple announcements before we get started. You're going to want to watch your Facebook and possibly YouTube. I don't know exactly where we're going to put it up here, but we have some interesting stuff going on next month, don't we?
Oh yeah, we got all kinds of stuff planned. I'm super excited for it. Hopefully it all works out and we don't disappear. So
hopefully not. We're actually going to have our first paranormal investigation coming up this next month. And we'll be joined in with special guests, as you guys know her, the Bigfoot lady, is going to go with us. Hopefully we'll get some content with her up here real soon. But definitely check out our Facebook. We're going to try to share some of the experience and share some pictures, and then we're going to be making a trip south to visit a nice little museum, aren't we?
Oh yeah, and we might go looking for a veggie man.
Anything is possible, man. Let's get that veggies.
you know that's the light you saw was really Veggie Man scoping you out.
It might be, man. He's just spinning them tentacles around. It's like a helicopter.
Helicopter.
Why don't you go ahead and get us started with your story?
All right, so I didn't. So we were talking and we were going to do like folklore stuff, and
like our kids are coming to get you, man. I hear the dogs barking. They're coming to get you.
I know. I don't know what they're barking at. Who knows? They've been barking at all kinds of shit outside lately. So I went down this rabbit hole of Japanese folklore. And Troy, you're going to appreciate my first story. Actually, 2 of them. Yeah. Just me giggling. You should know this is not going to go good. So
for sure.
I want you, Troy, think about it. You're a teenage girl. And you're listening to Avril Lavigne on your Walkman. Yeah, we're old. And you go into a girl's bathroom. Okay, I'm going to get serious. So you go into the girl's bathroom on the 3rd floor and you walk to the 3rd stall. And you might notice this bathroom is a little sketchy. Lights kind of flicker, the doors will close by themselves occasionally. But you heard these tales. So you go up to that 3rd stall and you knock on the door 3 times. And you call this girl's name. And I am probably going to butcher this name. Hanako-san. So you say it 3 times, okay? And when you say it, when you open the stall door, a little girl in a red skirt will be there. And she got a bob haircut. So, I mean, she may be creepy, but she got this little bob haircut. And she might just want to play with you. Or she wants to drag you through hell, through the toilet. So,
It'd be a very wet hell.
a very wet hell and dirty hell. So so there's this folklore. I'll give you some backstory now. But there's this folklore. Of course, it's kind of similar to the Bloody Mary folklore, if you couldn't tell. And depending on the region you're from, it's about this young girl who usually in the stories wear a red dress or skirt with a bobbed haircut. And it started in the 50s. And then I read somewhere where it actually went back even further, but it gained a lot of popularity in the 50s. And I think a lot of it was because World War II just happened. So, the Japanese people was still terrified. So she is a spirit of a girl who, there's 3 stories here. If you go into the backstories, the first story is the most popular. She was a girl who lived during the time of World War II. She was playing hide and seek in her school, and she hid in the 3rd stall in the girls' bathroom. However, while she was crouched and waiting in the stall, some planes came and bombed the area, causing that part of the school to collapse. Which that's probably the most popular version of this. The second is bullies. A bunch of kids were bullying her. She ran into the bathroom, and they just found her dead in the stall. So she committed suicide. And then the third one is simple. She just fell out a window in the school library, which makes no sense because why is she haunting a bathroom stall? So I don't like that one.
Well, nothing ever good happens on the 3rd floor, man.
No, 3rd stall, 3rd floor, 3 knocks, 666. Put it together.
Yeah. I mean, 3rd floor, I had some of the worst school classes I've ever had in high school on the 3rd floor.
What grade were we on the 3rd floor? Was that juniors or sophomore?
I don't remember because classes were kind of everywhere almost. I think it might have been, let's see. I wonder if they had English class or maybe math class in my sophomore year, I think, on the 3rd floor.
So I don't remember.
Either sophomore or junior year. I can't remember.
It's like a blur. So I will. This is my favorite part. The first time that I read about this folklore, and it depends on which part of Japan you are from. And I tried to figure out which part of Japan believed what, but it didn't happen. I didn't find it in time. But certain part of Japan, she has a bloody hand and will grab you. Okay. So that, you're like, okay, that's like how most of them is. And then the second, she turns into a lizard and devours you. That is probably about my favorite. And Rolo would love that.
Yep, yes he would. You know all about the Lizardman conspiracy, right?
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting story. And then I read into more of the descriptions of the examples that happens. So if you summon her and you're supposed to say, in some of the folklore, you're supposed to say, Hanako-san, are you there? And then you may hear her say, yes, I am. And that's when you see the bloody hand or her yourself. And then right before you get dragged to hell for disturbing her.
Shit gets real in the bathroom on the third floor in the third stall after 3 knocks.
Exactly. And I love a good toilet horror story. And and this is how I went down this rabbit hole, is because my other story is toilet themed too. So but I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys may regret me telling you the next one, and you'll know why when I tell you the story. So, but you just got to sit on the edge of your seats, listen to this whole podcast just to hear that one story. So
sit on the edge of your porcelain throne and hear stories about the shitty stories of the
see, everyone's probably like, you know, you can listen to other podcasts, but they don't talk about toilet ghosts. Or they might. I don't know. I guess they probably talk about.
I mean, can you imagine
Mary.
you're sitting there, sitting on the toilet, relieving yourself, and all of a sudden you're just like strangling that ghost to death with your awful gas?
Yeah, like I mean, what if you are taking a shit and then that's when you decide to summon her? Like, does she open a door and is like, you're a sick motherfucker?
She tries to come up through the toilet and just pokes you in the bum hole.
Well, and that's the thing. She don't even come out of the toilet. She drags you. The bloody hand comes and I don't know. I don't know how that works. Does the bloody hand part of it drag you through the toilet? Does it come out of the toilet and just grabs your ass cheeks and pull you straight into it?
I don't know. Can you imagine if somebody didn't flush the toilet first and the hand comes up and not only is it bloody, it just got scat and pee all over it?
Yeah, like
that sounds like an infection waiting to happen.
Sounds like a horror, like a horrible Marvel villain, Scat Man. I guess Scat Woman.
I bet you somewhere in the deep depths there's some like B-rated horror movie of that.
Lloyd Kaufman probably should have made that by now. And if you don't know who Lloyd Kaufman is, he made Toxic Avenger, which I know you know. And if you haven't, go watch it. That and Poultrygeist. Highly recommend. All right. But yeah, that's my first story. It's a toilet girl that drags you to hell. It's an interesting folklore. Like, American folklore is not as fun as that.
Well, my story isn't as fun, and it doesn't involve a toilet, nor a school, or a third floor, or knocking. But I decided to look into folklore from where my family originated from, which we have a lot of Irish descent in our family. And I know some of them, but I didn't realize that there's so many folklores based around death or omens of death until I started doing a little research. But this one I actually had not heard from before, and I thought it was really interesting. So imagine, Donnie, you're just minding your business, tending to your farm in the middle of Ireland, nighttime, and you just hear the clicking of horse hooves. And you look up and you see a headless rider with a horse covered in bone, no head. But once you do see the head, you notice that it has a grinning smile. And there's a nice glow candlelight in its mouth. Then all of a sudden it says your name as it makes a stop in front of your home, and you fall dead to the floor. Talking about the Irish folklore of the Dullahan.
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, I'm slightly terrified of horses because of Christopher Reeve falling off a horse and making him paralyzed. So that right there would just scare the fuck out of me.
Well, Doulahan, it's depicted kind of your typical story of the headless horseman, but he actually has his head, but he holds it high in hand, with a big grinning smile from ear to ear on its face, said to glow in candlelight from its mouth. People believe sometimes it could show up and actually have a wagon instead of just being on horseback, and the wagon adorned with candles and skulls and bones, and it's believed that he has a whip made out of a human back, and also the covering of the wagon is made of Ed Gein would like this dried human skin. Also has candles inside the skulls on his wagon, and it's believed that in folklore that he would travel through and you were fine as long as he didn't stop. When he stopped, a lot of times stop on somebody's property or right by their property, somebody in that home, in that family, was marked for death. And it's believed if he stops and he speaks the person's name, it rips their soul out of their body and they fall dead.
Ooh.
There's some rumors and stuff in this folklore that some people would, if they would see this figure, would throw gold objects at it, and supposedly gold objects would make it go away. But, you know, that's all rumored. But it's also believed that this figure can see clearly in the darkest of dark. So there's no running. He'll always see you. So a little twist on the typical, you know, in America, we have the typical headless horseman, Sleepy Hollow story. This to me is a little bit more morbid. Nice rider with a messed up face, with smile, riding through, whipping his horse to get it to move with somebody's backbone. Pretty creepy stuff. It's no bathroom story, but I thought this was super duper interesting.
Yeah, and this version is actually a lot creepier than the Headless Horseman, I think.
You know what's one really creepy part?
What?
If you're close enough to fully see his face that he's holding in his hand, the eyes still move.
Ooh.
Thought that was pretty creepy.
That is creepy. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, man. One other thing about it, also known, it is known as the Doulahan, but it is also known as, and I might butcher this, Gan Sion, which in Irish, old Irish language means without a head. And some believe that it's the embodiment of a Celtic god known as Crom Dubh. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to pronounce that, but it's pretty much old Gaelic language, so it's kind of a little hard for me to pronounce, even though I'd love to learn that, but still.
Yeah.
Definitely an interesting story.
Yeah, and see, I don't know that. I don't really know a whole lot about like Irish folklore like that, so that's pretty cool.
My next story, you'll know. I decided to pick a more popular one as well. So you'll recognize that one.
Okay.
Well, before we get to our next stories, I'd like to take the moment to thank everybody for checking in. We're trying to get these podcasts out a little bit more regular.
Yeah, we're actually consistent.
We're trying to get there, man. We're trying to get there. Where can everybody find us and listen to this wonderful podcast?
You can find us on Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. I think Google. We're on Google now. So you could be like, "Hey Siri, play our podcast, and it'll play it. Well, Siri's Apple, right? I don't know. What's Android?
It's Apple.
Okay. Well, whatever. It'll play on all of those. We are not on Apple Music because they won't accept us. One day we'll make it there. One day we'll make it big. You can also eventually check us out on YouTube. So we are gonna have next month, hopefully, we are gonna have some quality content on YouTube. So if you don't follow our YouTube, you might want to, because how else you gonna know we're gonna put new shit on there?
I mean, we do plan on putting some fun things from next month. Like I said, we're going to go to our first paranormal investigation since starting this podcast. We're also going to be making a trip, check out some interesting stuff at a museum. We'll touch base on that a little bit more. We can't give all the secrets away, but you can also follow us on all of our social medias. We're on Facebook. Dawn follows heavily on was it Instagram?
Yeah, for some odd reason, people love us on Instagram. So go love us on Instagram.
Yeah, but you can follow us. Same name as the podcast, everything on Facebook. Love to hear from you. We've been getting some more likes and some more followers on there as well, which is awesome. You always hit us up if you ever want to get a hold of us. Shoot us questions or concerns or just general feedback, or if you have some ghost stories or some things you'd like to see in the future, you can always email us at nnpnpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's nnpnpodcast@gmail.com.
And a huge shout out for Captain Catfeesh for the badass intro and outro, and wherever else we want to stick a song at. Maybe we'll stick a song right in the middle of this podcast. Who knows? Maybe one day. So, but a huge shout out. You can go check them out at captaincatfish.bigcartel.com. They got some cool shit. You can buy some shirts, CDs, stickers, koozies. I mean, they got all kinds of stuff. So go check them out. They help us by letting us use their music. So it would mean a lot to us if you'd go help and support them, and tell them we sent you there. Maybe they'll give us some free shit. Yeah, Michael, give us some free shit. Nah, he does, so I can't say that, but but yeah, go give them support too. Go check them out on Facebook, and they may, or I don't think they have an Instagram. I don't know, but they do got Facebook, so check them out.
Yeah, definitely. We thank them highly for that. Well, Dante, you want to go ahead and tell us about your next toilet story?
Now, okay, so this one is kind of creepy as fuck. Okay, this one's a little more serious.
How serious could a toilet be?
Oh, you'll find out. You're going to be you won't go to sleep tonight. So, normally, okay, I'm not even going to set up a scene. This one's just straight like creepy as fuck. All right. Let me see here. I had my notes here and then I fucking lost them. So, okay, here we go. So, professionals. So this one is not only found near toilets. It is found near train track toilets. And the monster, okay, so I'm probably not going to say this right, but there's a huge fucking following for this. I highly suggest like checking it out on YouTube and stuff. Tiki. Now, I could be pronouncing it wrong, but it's named that because that is the sound of the spirit's elbows as she drags herself along the ground. So, she is a schoolgirl who tragically fell onto the tracks right as the train approached. and it severed her torso from her legs. As all things Japanese, every person that dies becomes a vengeful ghost, and she's looking for her lost legs. So she appears at night with a scythe, which she uses to cut people in half. And here, where I might save your life, Troy. Okay.
I got one thing to say.
Okay.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Tiki Tiki.
Dude, there's all kinds of horrifying photos of this spirit on like Google and like Reddit and all this stuff. Like,
I bet, man. And it's always schoolgirls with them, man. TV shows, anime, always schoolgirls, man. They get you every time.
Oh yeah. Every anime starts with a high school. So here's how this is. The most famous version of this story features a tiki by the name of Kashima Riko. Now, this is kind of like The Ring a little bit. Okay, this might have inspired The Ring a little bit. Her story is said to predate that of all modern tiki legends, and her spirit haunts public restrooms, usually of train stations, because she lost her fucking legs. And if she catches you, okay, this is where I might save your life, because how I end this, okay? She will ask you where her legs are. If you say anything other than this, she cuts you in half. So the correct answer is on the Mission Expressway, which you're probably still going to die because I pronounced it wrong. So on the Mishin Expressway. Then she'll ask you, who told you? And the correct reply is Kashima Riko. And finally, she will ask what her name is, her real name, to which the answer is Common Sheena Ma, which translate to Mask Deaf Demon. And supposedly she just like disappears, okay? But
Did you just outrun her? She ain't got no legs.
Well, listen, she's eerily fast, it said. But so supposedly, this is where you're all going to hate me, all of you. Anybody that listens to this, write those answers down or Google it later, because within 1 month of learning about her, she appears.
Dun dun dun. Fuck.
So yeah. She's creepy.
It's a long way to travel without feet.
I kind of wondered, like, if you don't have no trains near you, then like how, like, does she just appear in the streets? Like, I want to know, but I don't want to know, because I'll never remember those answers.
Not the only one.
But
everybody's got their paper and pen out, Donnie.
got
Sorry, answers down.
Sorry, I told this. See, I warned you. I was like, this is where it's like The Ring, because now you got like a month. I know that's 7 days, but
I feel like a lot of Japanese folklore has a lot of like something on a timetable.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, like you said, teenage girls.
Yeah, Japanese has a lot of good folklore too, because they even have like alcohol spirits and stuff too. I've seen some folklore about.
Yeah, and they got some creepy. I mean, they got some creepy fucking ghosts. Like their folklore doesn't fuck around. Like Americans, like they might disappear. You might get haunted forever. Japanese is like, we'll cut you in fucking half.
For sure. That was great story. Another Japanese bathroom one, and now you got people scared and writing answers down. They think this is school. They got to take notes, apparently.
and there's no warning. I just brought it upon you. I cursed you all by accident. So
Yeah, well, we'll get ready and get ready for my next story, and it's an easy one. Yeah, but my second story won't be too bad. Second breaking news of this night. As I've seen, and most of you don't know, we had to take a small little break there, and technical things. But I was sitting here outside the old lair, looking at the night sky, nice clear nights, and I seen this light shining in the air out of nowhere, right above the tree line I was looking at. Took my phone out, took a picture, then it just disappeared. No clouds, clear ass night, and still see the lights from way downtown there, close to the airport, because they got a nice little like strobe light going. Who knows, man?
They're after you tonight. I mean,
Men in Black might be sending some gray men at me or something.
You better hope not. Green men, you're okay. Gray men, you're fucked.
Yeah, I'm fucking amazed though. I never had an experience with seeing something weird in the sky. I mean, I know it's just a shining light, but still, I think it's pretty cool. Stuff tickles me pink.
Or you're going to be out there and you're going to hear ticky ticky, and there's going to be this half torso lady with a scythe coming right at your ankles.
And see, I know they're not airplanes either, because I see two airplanes here, like further to the left, and they have the blinking lights,
Yeah.
So this was one solid glow, lasted for like maybe a whole like 3 Mississippis, long enough for me to hurry up and hit the camera button and snap a couple quick pictures. Then it was just gone. I would understand if there was like some cloud coverage tonight, but there's no clouds in the sky that I see.
See, we chose the wrong topic tonight. I guess we should have went aliens tonight.
Might be right, my guy.
Or we might be talking about aliens if you get abducted.
It'd just be a solo show.
No,
Call me again. I got abducted.
You'll just have to call me from the spaceship.
I don't know how well my service will do when I'm in outer space.
T-Mobile's trash anyways, so.
Well, anyways, before we get distracted and go on large extra special tangent here, my second story is a real popular one. And I know you've heard this one before. You heard the legend of a banshee.
Yeah.
Well, this is a real popular, wide-known Irish folklore. What a banshee is also known as the screaming woman. It's another one of those, I just lost the name of it, but something that shows up before death's going to happen.
Like an omen?
Yeah, death omen. There we go. That was the word I was looking for.
I got you, boo.
But it's stated that if you hear, and sometimes only you will hear, the screaming woman, and it's a sign that either you're going to die or somebody in your family is going to die. Some of the things I've seen, some say within like the day, like 24 hours. Some of the things I see says, believe it's within like 3 days. Some says like within like a week of hearing this woman scream. Some believe with the longer time period that even though it's a death omen, it kind of gives you time to get your shit in order as your final days on this planet. Some believe that it's a curse, that it curses the person who's going to die. Some believe, the people are just dying of natural causes, or something's going to happen. Something, could just be like fate, and it's just a sign of it. But it's kind of up to interpretations. I've heard of this story many times, and it's been in a lot of movies and films and all kinds of stuff, books. But I do believe it because normally you would think if you're out and about somewhere and you hear like a lady scream, you would think somebody's in danger. But apparently, in this folklore, you could be in danger. And also, one thing I think is interesting about it, though, is there's a lot of cryptids and other folklore where some things will mimic a woman's scream as well. So I kind of wonder if maybe there's more than one thing tied into it. My own personal thoughts.
It could be. I always heard of banshees, and I mean, I get the general gist of it, but I've never actually like looked up information on the banshee. Like, I know, is it Dracula movies? There's usually banshees in them. Like some of
It could
ones.
be. I mean, things like it.
Man. They always remind me of. I know you know what I'm talking about. I always thought those things from Left 4 Dead were pretty much banshees. Remember they call
The witches.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is some stories, though, of people actually seeing the banshee, too, not just hearing it. A lot of times they believe, like a lot of things, a typical woman with long hair, normally like a gray or green kind of cloak, wearing a dress, but her eyes are always red, sometimes glowing or weeping. Always like either a disturbed face image or very pale, ghastly kind of looks. Sometimes people don't see them at all. There's records too of some of them are unnaturally tall, or some are in the form of children.
Now,
And some of them can be really small. There's folklore is about them being 1 foot to being like 10 or 11 feet tall.
now I have heard. I might have heard this on Coast to Coast one time. I think I caught the tail end of an episode about banshees, but supposedly, this is literally the only thing I remember too. If there's like a bunch of them, then it's like someone important died or is going to die, is what I heard. Like, if like 5 or 6 of them or more than that, like shows up and like, or you hear them screaming, it's like someone important is going to die. I don't know how true that is, but that's probably the only thing I remember.
Yeah, some of the things believe that people who there's tales that people that'll hear it are people that are from like noble stock, or like in really important families, or families that have like major ties to something, are more targeted than other people. They believe that banshees could possibly be fairies as well. It's also stated that sometimes if people see the banshee, they could take the appearance of somebody in the family who may have died a virgin. Sometimes like children, normally. It's also believed that they could fly as well. Sometimes people see them flying in the forest.
That's what I think of when I think of a banshee, is like a ghost-like woman flying.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of the tales too, because they could be kind of like a ghostly shrouded woman that could fly. Folklore people that have seen them, and normally it's at nighttime.
So if you see one and you're probably going to die anyways, what's the chances you could hit on her?
I don't know, but maybe somebody will, maybe somebody has tried it and then it's not here to tell the story.
That could be. That could be.
There is also some tales that people believe that before they hear the banshee scream, if a family member is to suddenly become sick with something that would end in death, that they can actually hear the banshee singing at nighttime.
Ooh. I wonder if they sing some good tunes, like they sing some G.G. Allen or Outcast. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of takes of the stuff on it, but it is a more popular one. It's always the creepy women too. You know what I mean?
Now, Troy, I do have one more story that involves a creepy woman and no toilets.
No toilet.
No
What are you even doing with
toilets.
your life if you're not looking up Japanese toilet stories?
I'm telling you,
I would also suggest people not type that in Google because you might end up somewhere you don't want to be.
yeah, you might have some casualties along the way. So I'm trying to think of the best way to set this story up. And I know this one's pretty popular, especially if you're a fan of Japanese stuff and anime and stuff. But okay, I am going to tell you about the slit-mouthed woman. And this one's probably one of the more popular ones. Have you ever heard of this one, Troy?
It sounds familiar, but maybe I'll really know it once I hear some more about it.
All right. So I will tell you the backstory real quick, okay? And then I'll tell you that actually what will happen to you. So the story goes.
Do we need to take notes?
Actually, kinda. They're sorry for the notes, guys.
Our reviewers killed, my guy.
All well, I mean, on I guess technically all of us would be like killed by the woman, unless we wrote good notes. The one woman probably get us with a scythe, but no, this one, it does kind of have no. I mean, it's not saying that she's coming after us, so we should be good. But the story goes, a beautiful woman named Kuchas. I'm horrible with Japanese names. I like Japanese stuff, but I cannot pronounce shit. Kuchisaki, we'll just go with that, was married to a man who suspected her of being unfaithful. And he was right. She had fallen for another man and was planning to leave her husband. So in a jealous rage, her husband knocked her unconscious, tied her up, and when she woke up, he threatened to kill her if she left him, and used a large pair of scissors to slice her face into a permanent smile, Joker style. And he kept asking, "Who will think you're pretty now?" before slicing her head from her body. But when he was done, regret set in and he stabbed himself to death. Now let's go to present day, okay?
Uh-huh.
And a woman can come for you when you least suspect it. So, like, you just be walking down High Street, and this woman, her mouth is covered by a mask, which is more terrifying in COVID days because people still wear masks, and like it could be just her. And it hides her disfigurement, and she waits in the shadows as you pass by. Before you can react, she is in front of you and blocking your path, holding a pair of large scissors, which that is possible in downtown Morgantown. Like, and she asks, "Am I pretty?" And if you say yes or try to scream, she will slash your face so it just looks like hers. And running is no use because it literally says this in every description I looked her, like every folklore of this, she is super fucking quick. So because you run, she might cut you in half out of anger. So if you say no to her question, she'll walk away. So you hear that? You could say no. But that's for now, because she will follow you home, watch you sleep, and kill you. So here's a trick, okay? So some people claim this is the only way to survive, and it's to distract her. So you can offer her, which this don't make sense to me because they said she's super fucking quick, okay? But if you offer her money and candy, you might buy yourself enough time to run. It literally says that. Or if you confuse her. So it says the key is to stay unruffled and calm when she asks, "Am I pretty?" You respond, which this sounds horrible, but "You're okay," or "so." Or you could flip the question and ask her, "Do you think I'm pretty?" And when she pauses to consider, you slip away. But if she's super fucking quick, she's going to catch you anyway. So I don't see how that works.
Yeah.
But Troy, to end this story, supposedly a boy named Chance, okay? He didn't give his full name because he didn't want to. He survived her, okay? Excuse me. And his is like a fucking, I mean, I don't know how true this is, like this last part, because I only found like 2 accounts of this. So we'll just take it with a grain of salt. But a boy named Chance encountered the terrifying spirit as he was taking a shortcut through the woods. He said his mother had warned him to stay away from the area, but he didn't listen. But he did know one thing, is that evil spirits could be banished by certain words. When the woman stepped out from behind a tree and confronted him, he fell in terror, and she gazed down at him and asked him her famous question, "Am I pretty?" And she removed her mask to reveal her face, and Chance said he grabbed his cross necklace and chanted the devil's curse. "I banish you to the shadow of death. I corrupt you to the netherworld, from which no one has come from. Into the dirt no being should ever cross." He had hoped she would just run away, but instead, get this is cool as fuck. Demonic hands rose from the dirt behind her, grabbed her legs, pulled her into the earth as she sank. And this, honestly, it's probably just Tenacious D, because the movie Tenacious D has this end. And she tells him, "I will be back and I will tear you into pieces." So after I read that out loud, the whole time I kept thinking like Tenacious D, but it's still pretty cool. So
Yes, you are fucked. Shit out the blood.
now I'm complete, and my cock you will suck. The world will be mine, and you're next in line. Okay, I can keep going, so I'll quit.
I love that song.
But yeah, that's all I got for Slit Mouth Woman, who out of all of them, she was probably easily one of the creepiest looking ones, because like Toilet Girl was creepy, but she wasn't like.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah, like I don't know, like Japanese folklore is cool, but I feel like they all kind of title around like the same like concept too.
It's always schoolgirls, man.
It's always schoolgirls. Well, that one was a woman, so
Well, yeah.
she's probably 18.
Somewhere there's probably a story of her dressed in a schoolgirl outfit, though.
Yeah, probably.
Oh man, what a night it has been. I don't see any more shining lights randomly.
Oh, hey, I do got a UFO story for tonight. I know we already have one, but
Well, there we go. Let's just tie that in for the night here.
if I didn't accidentally delete it. And this one, it's a little day off because I didn't know when exactly we were doing this. So for mine, it was 8/29. 8/29/19. And you got to remember, this is exactly how this report is it's how it's reported into this government website. So, and Troy will appreciate this one tonight. I feel like I picked a good one for you by accident, because everything's by accident. That's you cue to X-Files music because nothing's by accident. So the location is Summersville, West Virginia, and it happened for 1 hour. And the characteristics are there were lights on the object. The object changed color. There were aircraft in the vicinity, and the aircraft was chasing the object. So the details are large number of planes and very bright light moving. Looked out the front door at 11 p.m. and saw a very bright light in the sky that at first I thought was a star. It was changing colors, and when I saw a plane fly by, I noticed it started to move and then stopped again. After watching for several minutes, I noticed several blinking lights in the sky above a mountain in the distance that appeared to blink at random intervals, almost like they were communicating. They would blink blue and red. I noticed a large amount of planes in the sky. At one point, I counted 4 planes in the sky at one time. I went back inside for around 15 minutes and came back, but the bright light was nowhere to be found. The blinking lights and planes were still in the sky, though.
It's definitely one of those kind of nights tonight now, isn't it?
That's why I figured you would I accidentally did a good one for you.
That was just a shame that you weren't up here at the lair. You'd have enjoyed it.
I'd been naked in the field.
Then you'd have been on a list somewhere.
Probably already am.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we're working on getting back to some regularity here. Super excited for next month. So just to go tune into some new content. We are planning on also having Bigfoot Lady on here sometime soon as well. I know Dante cannot wait for that. He's probably got about 122.5 questions written down already.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for
it. Well, the next time you're in the bathroom doing number 1 or number 2, and you hear a rumbling, you think it's your stomach. Maybe you plopped a little hard into the toilet bowl. Maybe you hear a noise. Maybe it's just your stomach. You never know. It's possible that that's just not normal. It's paranormal.
I'm seeing shit that's burned my brain. Won't go away, and I'm pretty sure it's staying. 'Cause it stays, and it's strange. Only feel good in the fall. Cartoons, yeah, they help it subside. Don't wanna think about when we die. It's alright. It's only at night. Only feel good in the fall.